Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Rundown. My name is Roxanne. I'm the executive producer here at WDTV. With me, as always, is Zach Anderson, our 5 and 6 producer. Zach, we're really repping WDTV today.
Yes,
I don't
we've
know
never
if you
repped
guys
the
can
WDTV
really
colors
see,
more.
but I have my kind of more casual shirt on.
And then I have our jersey from our charity softball game we
Yes,
had last year.
and
So
I told you this morning I was actually thinking about wearing that shirt today.
that would have been
so-
really awkward.
Well, I mean, it's like that other day when 3 of us in the newsroom were
That's true.
matching. We were just on that same wavelength today. But it's kind of nice, I think, to have merch, I guess,
Yeah.
for WDTV, because then it's kind of like, oh, this is my uniform. I can wear it every day.
Yeah, I can casually wear this to work. And
yeah.
nobody's gonna
We have the polo, which I'm sure if you guys have seen our reporters out in the field, or sometimes we'll wear it here.
Yep.
That we sometimes will wear that blue polo. I don't wear it a lot because I feel like it makes me look like I'm at work at Best Buy in the Geek Squad. Not that that's a bad look, just that's what it makes me feel like. Because sometimes I'm like, I don't know, I'm not feeling like I want to look like I work at Best Buy today. So.
And then we have the quarter zip as well, and then a full jacket. So they set us up well here with the merch.
The quarter zip, I don't know if they have women's quarter zips or if there just weren't any when I got mine, but it was a men's quarter zip, and so it was too long for me.
Oh,
it fit in some places, and then it was too long and kind of I don't know, it just didn't fit very well.
Mine was kind of short. Mine was kind of the opposite.
Oh, really?
It's really way too short. I'm a little taller than you are, but
yeah.
Mine was way too short, I felt like on me. So
maybe if I had just gotten a smaller size, but I ended up just giving it to my boyfriend because I was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too big for me. So, but anyway, I just thought it was funny that we were kind of matching today unintentionally again.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that I had worn that shirt today, so then we would actually be matching.
Well, I promise you I'm not making this up, but I did look in my closet at that shirt.
Really?
Maybe I'll switch it up and wear the
no,
softball
I want to do the
jersey
blue
this
one.
time. Yeah.
That one's kind of a different material, a little bit than a regular t-shirt too. So.
And it has our names on the back of them.
That's true. Yeah.
Here, I can show you that real quick.
Yeah. Give us a view of our
there you go.
Anderson.
Can you see it on camera, Rocky?
Yep.
Yeah,
You're kind of blocked, but but you can see it pretty well.
Yeah.
And you chose 15. I think mine was 00.
The only reason I chose 15 was because that was my high school number, and that's just a number
that
I've
makes sense.
become synonymous with in my life.
I
So.
chose 0 because I practiced with you guys a lot for the softball tournament, but I was not there for the actual game. I was on vacation or something.
Oh, yeah.
So I was I don't know, 0 felt appropriate because I was
You're not even a player on the
I'm
team.
on the team, but I'm not on the team.
Yeah,
really.
you're not even a player.
But I still have the jersey, so it's all good. All right, guys, let's move on from Zach and I always matching and get into your top headlines today. So we have a couple of arrests to go over with you. So first up, a Pennsylvania man has been arrested after allegedly claiming to be God while attempting to fight firefighters and threaten state troopers. He's from Pennsylvania, but this took place in West Virginia. So this here is Jason Stanchak. He is charged with 2 counts of assault on first responders following an incident on Hackers Creek Road. That's in Jane Lou. This happened on Tuesday, so just yesterday. He was arrested after troopers responded to a report of a 2-vehicle crash on Hackers Creek Road. First responders said that Stanchak was actively trying to fight people at the crash site, and when officials got on scene, they say that he was swaying and disoriented. He also was telling an officer that he would, quote, rip his face off. Troopers say they took Stanchak to the ground. He resisted arrest and repeatedly declared that he was God while he was resisting arrest. Stanchak is currently being held in the Central Regional Jail, and no bond has been set at this time. If you want to learn a little bit more about that incident, we also have a little bit more details about that on our website too. But that's not the only arrest that we're reporting on today. Zach, if you want to tell us about another one that we'll be covering.
One a little closer to home here in Harrison County. A man has been charged after allegedly breaking into a home and stabbing a victim in the head. This is 21-year-old Jordan Taylor on your screen. He is charged with unlawful assault and burglary, according to the Harrison County Sheriff's Office. Deputies responded to the home after a victim reported that Taylor had entered it without permission through an unlocked front door. According to officials, Taylor walked up a flight of stairs, opened the door to the victim's bedroom, and began physically assaulting them. During this altercation, Taylor was identified after his mask was pulled down and the victim recognized him as an acquaintance. The victim also reported that Taylor struck them on top of the head with an unknown object, causing active bleeding, and deputies on the scene also observed that the victim's head was wrapped in a bandage, and they also saw a laceration. Taylor is currently being held at the North Central Regional Jail on a $100,000 bond.
Yes, so another one of the arrests that we're reporting on today, those are both posted on our website if you want to learn more. I'm going to kind of stray from what we have on our sheet here because I just got one of our push notifications, so we just posted an article, and I just want to give you guys an update while we're here. So sorry, I'm going to read from my phone for a little bit, but this is about Delegate Elliot Pritt. So we've been talking a lot about him. He was actually just formally taken out of the Fayette County school system. He was a teacher there, and he also resigned from being a delegate. This was after he was charged with enticing a minor. So just new right now, he is now in the grand jury indictments. So this is what his felony counts are. So he's indicted on 3 felony counts: sexual exploitation of a child, coercion and enticement of a child, and tampering with a witness, victim, or informant. Prosecutors allege that from March 2024 through January 2026, Pritt coerced and enticed a female minor to engage in sexually explicit conduct. The indictment further alleges that between June 2025 and January 2026, Pritt used the internet and cell networks to produce visual depictions of explicit conduct. And in addition, the grand jury charged Pritt with witness tampering, alleging that on June 20th of this year, he attempted to intimidate and corruptly persuade the victim to prevent her from reporting those crimes to law enforcement. He was arrested in July 22nd of this year, following a lengthy investigation with the U.S. Homeland Security and Fayette County Sheriff's Office. So that's the latest we have on him. Again, we've reported a lot about that recently.
Yeah.
Fayette County's not in our area, but obviously statewide importance there. And again, he has already resigned from the House of Delegates in West Virginia, and he has already been taken out of the Fayette County school system. So that, I think, is more details than we've gotten lately about what the crimes actually were. And again, that's I think a new charge there for witness tampering. So that is also on our website. If you have our push notifications, you probably saw that come through just now. Let's go back to our normally scheduled programming with the Daily Rundown. So this is a little bit more about flood damage survey. So, of course, this here was recently in Harrison County. This was on Monday. You can see a couple of different shots of flooding there. And the West Virginia Emergency Management is urging anyone affected by this recent flooding to complete a new disaster survey, stating that every response helps with federal assistance. The survey 123, that's a disaster survey, is open to homeowners and renters whose properties were damaged by the recent floods. State emergency officials emphasize that collecting this information is vital in the recovery process. The survey results determine whether an impacted area can qualify for things like FEMA assistance. And because these thresholds are calculated using community impact, officials stress that no amount of damage is too small to report. So they're urging people, even if you think it's not very much, to still report that so that they can also calculate the total community impact of those floods. They also say that minor damages can be a deciding factor on whether the community receives aid. So again, that's just another way to help make sure that the community in general will receive that aid. The survey is open to all affected residents, both inside and outside city limits. And if you want to take part in that survey, if you want to submit the damages that you got from the recent flooding, there's a link to that on our website.
Yeah.
And you go directly through that link to their website there, and you just fill out that short survey.
Yep.
And again, that decides for things like FEMA assistance, and so that they can determine kind of the total impact that recent flooding had on that area. Now let's go to something that we cover every single year, Zach.
Yeah.
But It's always exciting to me because fall is my favorite season.
Yeah,
And
especially here in
so,
West Virginia.
Yes, when the Department of Tourism is like, here's our fall foliage map.
Yeah.
It's always really exciting to me.
Yes.
So if you want to tell us more about what exactly that means.
Yeah, it's always fun to talk about that because fall is also my favorite season. You know, now like you said, the Department of Tourism released its 2026 fall foliage projection map here on your screen. This introduces new weekly updates to help travelers plan their autumn trips. So this year, the state is updating their foliage map every week, starting in mid-September, to provide the most accurate real-time color assessments across different regions. So pretty cool. They're going to be updating it on a week-by-week basis. Along with this map, the department is also launching the autumn edition of the Almost Heaven Swain Bingo Challenge, also known as Swingo. Funny name there. But the challenge features nearly 60 swing locations across West Virginia, which are at a lot of state parks, you know, all across the state, really. Anywhere where there's a nice view, you can almost find one of those Almost Heaven
They
swings.
always announce a new one. I feel like every couple of months.
Yeah.
In like you said, like state parks or just like well-traveled areas in the state.
So if you go online and sign up for the Bingo Challenge, also known as Swingo, you can get a digital card online where you can kind of keep track of that, and a link to that, of course, can be found on our website. So when it comes to those Almost Heaven swings, though, I've been to several of them. I've been to quite a few, actually. The ones that I can think of are Summersville Lake State Park, Oglebay Park, and Wheeling, which is where I got engaged. And then, of course, I'm going to come on here and blank, even though I've seen a bunch of them. Cacapon State Resort State Park, which is in Morgan County. Yeah, it's in Morgan County, West Virginia.
This is really like testing your knowledge about like where things are too.
I've been to quite a few of them.
You gave me one of the ones that you've been to. So where's this one at?
That was at Oglebay Park in Wheeling. That was where Lily and I got engaged.
Yeah.
And that was actually right after the engagement. So
that's so cute. I love that picture. You guys look so happy.
Yeah.
I've only been to, I think, one of them. I know I have a picture somewhere at the one in Philippi.
Yeah.
It's in front of the bridge.
Yep.
So I've been to that one, and then I'm sure that I've like sat on other ones, but I don't have any other pictures on any of the other ones. Maybe at Cooper's Rock, because there's one at Cooper's Rock.
Oh yeah, I've been to the one at Cooper's Rock as well.
Is there one at Valley Falls? Do you know?
I've never been to Valley Falls, even though it's like 20 minutes from my house. I've never been to it.
I've been to Valley Falls a couple times, and now I'm like, because I don't have a picture there, so I'm like trying to remember if there is a swing there, because that's definitely like a really scenic view that I feel like would be good to have.
They're everywhere. I mean, I also saw one up at Tomlinson Run State Park, which is in one of those counties up there, Hancock County, I think. It's in the northern Panhandle above Wheeling. So they have them everywhere, and really like they always have a beautiful view behind them. You can you never deny that. I guess that's the point. It's supposed to be like a great view where you can take they call it Instagrammable views if you look at the little wooden plaque. That's what it says.
And even before like Swingo, which I think is a pretty new thing that the Department of Tourism is doing, they already had like a way to, if you use this hashtag, then we'll share it on our page or like things like that. So they're wanting people to, continue to go to these places, which
and go visit them.
I feel like I've heard a couple of people be like that's on their kind of bucket list of like we want to go to every single West Virginia swing.
I would agree. I would agree that Lily and I, because we want to visit all 55 counties, we've only done like 10 or 12, I think, so far. But we want to visit all 55, and I think that'd be a goal for us as well, to visit every single swing. So if we go to a place in a county where we think there's a swing, we always go take a picture at it. I just cannot think of where we've already been on the spot for some reason.
I wonder if our anchor Alex Tejada has any pictures at
I'm
the
sure
swings,
he
because he, I think, has been to all 55
He has been to all
counties.
55 counties.
And he's like the biggest West Virginia lover that I think I know. And he's not even from here, so I think it's kind of funny. But I could only assume that he would go and visit the swings.
Yeah, I'm sure he has.
He takes pictures, but I don't think he usually takes pictures of himself. He usually takes it of like the scenery.
That's true. Yeah.
So
I don't think he takes a lot of selfies or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Right. But I would just assume that this is something that like he'd be really interested in. And also going back to the like fall foliage thing, that's like a huge thing for people in this area too, because it's like they go on like leaf peeping tours.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of that.
And I think like That honestly, the fall colors is one of my favorite things about living in West Virginia.
I agree.
Because in Colorado, like you get that a little bit, and it depends on where you are, but a lot of the trees around there are like pine trees
Yeah.
or ones that like don't turn
Mm-hmm.
when it's the fall season, and because it's so dry, there's not nearly as much like
Yeah, good
foliage in
point.
general.
Mm-hmm.
So living here, it's like every single year I get so excited because like you can't escape it.
No,
because
you can
there's-
drive anywhere and you'll
Right.
see it. Like
So-
it makes a drive down I-79 even
yeah.
look amazing.
like
and then
every morning, and you're like, this is the most beautiful place to live.
Yeah,
because
like,
of these colors.
there's
Like,
just so many colors everywhere because
Yeah.
the interstate's paralleled by trees on both sides.
Right.
So it's just beautiful in that way.
yeah. So I'm excited for. I'm like not ready for the warm weather to go away yet because I feel like we had a hard winter this past winter. So I'm like kind of trying to hold on to the warmth a little bit.
Yeah.
But like I said, fall is my favorite season.
The
so I'm
warmth will
excited
stay
for that.
until like maybe sometimes in West Virginia it stays through September. Like
That's true. It
but
doesn't
then once
go away
October hits,
quickly.
it's like you're
Yeah.
starting to get a little chilly.
Right. So, but at least you get beautiful fall colors
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go with that.
It is really nice.
Yes. So, if, like Zach said, if you're interested in taking part of the Swingo Challenge, the link to that and also the fall foliage map is also on our website.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go now to what our reporters are working on today. So, Robert is going to be in Morgantown, or he was this morning, I should say. Senator Capito was in Morgantown to cut the ribbon on the new WVU School of Dentistry. She also secured $12.6 million in. Oh my gosh, I just blanked on this. Sorry. In fiscal year 24 and $15 million in fiscal year 26 for this project. So, WVU President Michael Benson, as well as some other School of Dentistry officials, were also at that event this morning. So, Robert's talking to her just a little bit about, where that money is going for that school and how that's going to continue, supporting the education there. So.
That's a significant amount of funding. I mean, that combined, that's $27.5 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of money going towards the dentistry program up there.
Yeah, and I know that's been kind of an up-and-coming program, too.
Yeah.
We've had previous stories in the past of them expanding, things like that. So
Yeah.
this funding is helping them, further that education there.
That's good.
So, yeah. And then what's Nick doing today, Zach?
So Nick was at Heroes Haven Child Advocacy Center. So from their website, they're a center that is a safe, child-friendly facility where child protection, criminal justice, and child treatment professionals, work together to investigate abuse in Harrison, Dodgers, Taylor, and Barber counties. And they also want to hold offenders accountable with that work as well and help children heal from those incidents. So a very important story that Nick's going at. He's going to learn more about a recent expansion at their center and how it will help them further serve children in our area. So
Yeah, I know that the Heroes Haven, one of their representatives, was on the First at 4 with Holly and Vince,
Yep.
Either this week or last week, pretty recently, and she was telling them a little bit more about this too. But I believe from what Holly and Vince told us, it was like a new medical wing or something like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
So they can kind of treat children who need like medical treatment right on site. So Nick will have more about that expansion and how that's
great.
kind of helping the Child Advocacy Center continue with their work.
Yeah.
Both Robert and Nick's stories will be in the 5 o'clock show today, as always.
Yeah.
And so you can check it out there on our evening broadcasts. Let's talk now about Word on the Street today. And Zach, I don't know if we'll have much to say about this one because, like we've said, neither of us are in school anymore, and neither of us have kids.
Yeah.
So today we asked about how the first day of school was because a lot of people have gone back to school this
Yeah.
week. So how was your first day of school?
I mean, my first day of school was great. No, I'm just joking around. But if I think back on my first days of school, they were always exciting, but also intimidating in a way because
Yeah.
the ones that stick out to me are the ones where I transitioned from like 5th grade to 6th grade, so elementary to middle,
Yeah.
and then from 8th grade to 9th grade, from middle school to
Right.
high school. Like those were intimidating times because
Yes.
brand new building.
Yes.
This is so intimidating. The school's so huge. It wasn't, but it felt like it was.
Yes.
And I was getting prepared for that on my first day. So that was, it was exciting because new friends, new people, new classes. You feel like you're growing up, which I've already grown up. Here I am, but you felt like you were growing up and learning new things. So
Yeah.
it was exciting in a way, but also intimidating.
I think that I used to have like really bad social anxiety when
Hmm.
I was younger. And so the first day of school was like really not, I mean, it was exciting, like kind of similar, because you're like,
Yeah.
okay, new school year, I'm nervous and excited, but also I would just be like dreading having to like talk in class or talk to new people. Or my least favorite thing was always like, let's go around the classroom and tell
Oh, I love that actually.
like the icebreaker things. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, okay, I see the benefit of it, but like as a very socially anxious like little girl, even like into high school, I like
Yeah.
did not enjoy doing stuff like that, just because I was like, I like to sit back and like
Yeah.
watch the room, see who I want to talk to, whatever. So I hated the idea of like standing up in front of the class or whatever and being like, I'm Roxanne, I'm, from Colorado, I do this, and that, whatever. And I feel like it was always one of those things where it'd be like, there's nothing interesting about me. I don't have 3 fun facts, because
Yeah,
it's like
'cause you're,
when you're
scared.
put on the spot,
Yeah. I think I was somewhat the opposite. I was more
Really?
like a social butterfly when it came to those things. Not to like demean. I mean, I get it. Social anxiety is real, but I'm saying like I was more of a social butterfly. I felt like
Yeah.
whenever I came to those things, so I just got up. I
you're
love
like,
the
I'm
excitement.
Zach, I'm the coolest person ever.
Okay, well I didn't say all that now. Calm down. But I love the fact of meeting new people and
Yeah.
like it was a little bit awkward though. I'm sure you can agree with this. Like the
Yeah.
first day of a new class, you're like, do I know anybody?
You're like, what's
Or-
the energy?
or
Like-
or like is this a class where I can be like chill and
Yes.
talk, or is this a class where the teacher's like super strict?
Right.
Like
Yes, that's
like
the other
what's the
thing.
vibes in here for right now?
Because it's not only like your classmates, you have to be like, okay, what's this teacher gonna be like? Are they
Yeah.
gonna be super strict? Are they gonna be super lax? Like,
Are they gonna be
what's the
cool or
energy?
mean
Right,
or harsh? You don't know what they're
exactly.
gonna do.
And then we were talking this morning about how a lot of parents will like take pictures of their kids
Yeah.
before the first day of school. My family never did that.
My family also never did that.
We didn't
don't
like
think so.
stand in front of the door with a sign or whatever. I don't remember like ever doing that. I know.
Me either. I can't remember one instance.
Not that it's like good or bad, just
Yeah.
I think it's also a lot more popular now with social
Yeah,
media.
that's true.
And
I think Lily's family did it whenever she was in school.
yeah.
It's definitely a lot more popular now, though.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's a cute trend, but we never like took part in that. The first day of
Yeah.
school was like, okay, get in the car, like we're going,
It was me sitting in the car like, no, summer's over.
Yes.
I don't want to go back to school.
Exactly.
But then I'd get there and I'd be like, oh, my friends are here. Like, this is cool.
cool.
This is great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I feel like, and maybe you feel similar because you played sports too, because I was in marching band, we would be practicing before the school year started.
That's true. Yeah.
So, especially like in the later years of like high school, it'd be like, I've been on campus, I've been at the school, practicing and
Yeah.
rehearsing for a couple weeks now. So it didn't feel as like, okay, this is the first day of school. This is the first day I'm ever stepping into the building since last
Yeah.
year. It was like, I've kind of been around here for the last couple of weeks.
Like
so-
I've already been here. I mean,
Right.
that was me for football definitely in high school because we practiced, throughout the summer and into the early fall, beginning of the school year. But for track, which was my main sport, especially in middle school and high school, we practiced like during winter break. So that was a little,
okay.
that was a little different because
Yeah.
that was only like the halftime, if
Right.
you will, about for the school years.
Right.
So we would practice during that time, and then we would just come back because winter break's not the same. It's
Right.
just it's a short
It's
break.
like a couple weeks, and
Yeah.
you're still like really in school.
Yeah,
kinda.
you don't really feel like you're out of school. You're just
Right.
getting time off of school.
Yeah. Just going off of like breaks, I feel like there are some people who are like, we should get rid of summer break and have like more breaks in the year,
Yeah.
and maybe that would help like for someone who's like socially anxious, and so you don't have time to like forget about what being in school is like. I don't know. But that also I feel like takes away like summertime, because I
Yeah,
like
it
having a
would.
break of, like not having to worry about that.
But would I sound insane if I said this? Like a week on, week off system for school would be kind of cool in a way. Like that might sound insane to people listening.
Or
But like
I feel like
2 weeks on,
now-
2 weeks off, maybe something like that. I don't know.
Like you get more like longer breaks, kind of like
Yeah.
instead of like a day off for like Easter, you get that Monday off or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if people still do that, but you'd get like a week off for Easter.
Yeah.
Or like
And you could plan vacations around it.
Yeah.
That might sound crazy. I don't know.
I kind of like that idea because like as an adult, I feel like every couple of months you're like, I need like a little vacation.
I need a
break.
break.
I need a longer break than 2 days.
Yeah.
Weekend. So maybe that'd be nice for kids.
Yeah.
I'd be like we've been going and going for months.
Yeah.
You don't really get a long break in that.
You're right.
So to maybe go for a couple weeks really hard, have a week off or something.
I think it would prevent burnout, but I'm sure there's some kind of psychological reason like that you don't retain information as well if you did that or something.
I feel like summer, like brain drain, is like a huge thing during
Oh,
summer.
absolutely. I did it in the summer.
Like I feel like that is the longest break, so you have less, like at least for a shorter break, you're like, okay, I kind of can retain that. It's only a week or 2 weeks, whereas the summer, it's like 3 months or something. So you're like, I don't need any of that. Like that's all gone. So maybe it'd be less.
When it came to summertime for me, sometimes I would just dispose of all information. Just like I would just like go play or do whatever.
I really think that like that. Some people have like such a good memory. Like just as an example, I'm an actor, so this is what I always think about. But some people will like remember their scripts for like the plays that they've been in, years ago.
That's impressive.
And I'm like, as soon as it's closing night, it's out of my brain. Like I don't remember any of it.
The closing night show is over. It just goes.
Yes, and that's how I felt in school too. It was like I remember some of it, and I think I have a very like good general knowledge base, but ask me anything specific that I learned in school and I'd be like, I literally have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Good luck.
Like it's not in my brain anymore. So maybe shorter breaks or like more consistent breaks. Not a long summer break would help with that because you're like learning more consistently.
And that's why I think the college system, this is the last thing I'm going to say about it, but I think the college system does a good job because you have classes like twice a week or 3 times a week. So you get breaks from those classes in the middle.
Yeah, that's true.
And obviously you have other classes most of the time, at least how the schedules are set up. You have other classes, but you're like alternating what classes you're working on. And I retained so much from college because of that.
Yeah. Well, also I think just being older and being closer to that time of life.
And also doing something I love. So yeah.
I think we had a block schedule in school, so it was kind of like that. Like we would have our blue days or whatever would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or you know what I mean? Like it'd be like every
in high
other
school you
day.
had that?
I think so.
Wow, that's interesting.
And so
ours was just Monday through Friday.
Or
you have these 8 classes every day.
Maybe I'm like gaslighting myself and thinking that we did that. But I feel like, or maybe someone I knew did that, where it'd be like you have certain classes certain days, certain classes other days.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that in high school at least.
I think that's a thing.
Might be.
Or maybe I'm just confused.
I'm not going to say you're wrong because I don't know. I know in high school for me it was just Monday through Friday. You have these 8 classes at the same time every day. It was always a grind.
Now I feel like I want to look back at my high school schedule and be like, okay, when did I actually have these? High school is like such a blur to me, honestly.
Well, let us know.
I really don't remember anything about it. All right. I think we need to let you guys go. We're almost going into the 1 o'clock hour.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we probably need to go.
It's lunchtime, so we gotta go to lunch. But make sure to tune into the First at 4 today if you want to tell us about your first day of class or your kid's first day and how that went. You can comment on Word on the Street and still vote on our website for a couple more hours. And then, of course, tune into the 5 o'clock show, all of our evening broadcasts tonight for more about our top headlines and what our reporters are working on today. But we will be back here with you at 12:30 tomorrow, so make sure to tune in then. But until then, that's all we have for you. Thanks for watching.